Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Point of View. And today we have a lot to dive into with our special guest host, Shirley Dorr. Welcome back, girl. Coming up, tensions are high in Salt Lake City after murals honoring George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and others are torn down, and the community is in an outrage and they are speaking out. Later in Girlfriend's Guide, we're getting a little juicy today, and you definitely don't want to miss Mind, Body, and Soul. So grab a seat, join the discussion. You're watching POV. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but Salt Lake City has torn down murals honoring George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and others who were killed by police, art that stood as a powerful tribute and a call for justice. City officials say the buildings were unsafe and needed to be demolished to make way for housing, small businesses, and public spaces. But many believe this is more than just a safety issue, it's erasing history. What do you guys think about it? Did it trigger you, bother you? How do you feel?
I think it's sad. I think it's really sad, actually, because for housing for who? For small businesses? Like, out of all of the space in Salt Lake City, like, Salt Lake City is not small. So, like, you had to tear this down, like, but they're erasing history everywhere. Yeah. So it's not just like, this isn't just the first time that we've seen it. Like, they're taking it out of the history books in school, you know, like they're literally erasing Black history everywhere.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty sad. I know when I saw the buildings, the walls fall, it was triggering. It felt like, oh my gosh, like I'm being traumatized by the stories, being traumatized by the killings all over again, because these people were victims of police violence. They were actually killed, murdered. I mean, George Floyd, I mean, we saw it. Yeah. My gosh, on TV. I mean, you also, what's this, Trayvon Martin.
Right.
And then, like, tearing that down, it's being traumatized all over again, because you see the faces from the murals and you see them just go whoosh. And it's like it's happening all over again. So that was traumatizing for me to see that.
It's a consistent reminder that the United States is really not for Black people. Like you said, this isn't the first time. Like, they're getting rid of Black Lives Matters murals on the ground and the roads. Like, it's just like all of a sudden this was so important and critical to the development of this country. And then a new president come and they're like, nah, not really. It was just temporary. So to see them decide that they're going to take that down, and I know Salt Lake City has other murals of other humans, and they're like, nah, these we don't want to remember.
This one has to go.
We're gonna buy,
this is unsafe.
We're gonna buy
These
and build
humans.
this land first, right?
Right.
Wow.
It was emotional, just seeing it on social media, you know, just the faces actually falling. But I don't feel like, as much as they're trying to erase history, I'm reminded of, like, my childhood. My mom raised us, and she made sure that we knew our history. And I think that that's important for all people. And now, you know, we see so many people talking on social media about how everyone is just focused on learning these line dances and these new skits and all these other things. And so I feel like as much as we want to say that they or other people are trying to erase our history, I feel like we need to definitely do a better job of keeping it in the forefront and make sure that we're giving that to the next generation, because we know that a famous saying is that people that forget their past are destined to repeat it. And so I think that it's very important to make sure that, you know, regardless of what anyone is trying to do, that we remember where we came from.
Well, I know on my social media feeds, I see a lot of it. And it seems like the more they try to quiet it or erase it, I'm grateful that there are people who are like, forget about that. We are going to make sure we make posts about it. We are going to talk about the past, the future, the in-between. We're going to talk about it all, because we want you to know about people, Black people who have accomplished great things, no matter what time it was, because we actually have accomplished many great things. I mean, what countries wouldn't even really stand if it wasn't for Black people, period.
It's not even in the U.S. only. I have a peer that works for the major, like, publishers of books that go into the educational system. You have people in other countries who are pulling out their dollars on purchasing these books.
Wow, great.
Because they're not trusting what is being put inside of the books. And so they're trying to find new people.
Oh, they've lied to us for years.
Yeah.
Centuries.
I mean,
Yeah.
my mind goes to, as much as, in the comments, there were a lot of people like, spreading awareness, showing support, that we can tell they're in the right mindset. But when we think about the people that we actually know, like just evaluating our circle, do we feel like we are surrounded by enough people that are actually aware or care to remember our history?
No,
I am.
I don't think so.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends which circle. I got a lot of circles.
Come on now.
I got my categories. You know,
Okay.
you gotta separate your friends.
Okay, the category that you spend the most time with.
Okay.
What about that one?
Oh, that's me. That's just me.
And what do you think? Do you think you do a good enough
I think
job?
I do. Yeah, I think I do my own research. Yeah, I think I do enough of my own research to have my own, beliefs.
But do you think that you're spreading awareness and having the right conversations to keep our history in the forefront of our future?
Again, it depends on which circle I'm standing in, because my outside friends don't care about that. They care about alcohol.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Lord.
I have those conversations with my friends. We only have like 5. But
That's enough, baby. You don't need no more than
a
the
lot.
5, baby. Other than that, you can't trust them.
we have those conversations. I mean, we have conversations about Jesus. We have conversations about the history. You're not going to forget. And my friends' kids, they're not going to forget who they are. They're going to know who they are. They're going to know the lineage and the heritage in which they come from. They're going to know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what I can say, I may not do it on a global scale or even like a local scale, but I know that the conversations within my friend group or people around me,
That matters more than anything else.
I'm going to always bring it up. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to I always remember, I'll never forget, there's a book that I read, and it's a British history book, and the British people, they love joking about America. Like, and they notice patterns in our historical references. They're like, have you ever noticed that American history, things always happen in October or the 8th of some kind of month? Like, they're so serious about us fabricating our history. And so I learned that very soon, a little earlier in my college career. So that's when I made the decision to take classes like Africana studies and Black music history, like things that allow for me to make decisions. So I know the people that are around me, I can still have those conversations. Now, if somebody else and they're, trying to be the purveyor of truth and trying to share that with other humans, people are ignorant.
yeah, people are gonna believe what they want to believe. Like, as far as Black culture, Black history,
Right.
religion, they're gonna believe whatever they want to believe.
My mom gave me a book like when I was probably like 12, 14, 13 years old, the Negro Almanac. And it's about this thick. And it like has all like inventors, poets, musicians. It goes through like the entire history.
That book could probably cost $1,000.
Yeah,
right.
And I have that book hidden close to myself.
I know that, right?
I love that. I love that. While we're talking about history and children, boy, I think we may have jumped the gun with the story that we talked about earlier this week, where the Georgia father was arrested for leaving his kids at a McDonald's while attending a job interview. So now we're back with the update. And since then, NFL football player Antonio Brown has stepped in, and he created a GoFundMe that raised $60,000 to support the family. The internet is in an uproar because allegedly this man has left the children there multiple times. And I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens with this. How do you guys feel, even with the information? I know it's so vague even when we initially got it.
Right.
Yeah.
But what do we feel about that?
I'm glad we didn't tear that man down. That's what I'm happy about. I'm glad that we supported that Black man and we still held him up, even though we know that it wasn't, the best choice that he made. And maybe he has some issues. He clearly needs help. And I'm just glad that we supported him.
That's not where I was going. So when we were doing research on this, update, we were listening to Charlemagne on The Breakfast Club, and I guess that Antonio Brown, I think they said he raised $80,000 in this GoFundMe, right? Which that's great, but also there are some holes in this story. So I don't know how many times he's left the children there, but dang, what did they say?
The 10-year-old?
No. Oh yes. The 10-year-old says yes. Yes, the 10-year-old said that he leaves them all the time, And Charlemagne was basically saying that this man was like out here selling drugs while the kids was there. Yes, while the kids, because he had a backpack, and apparently during the time frame that he said that he was in an interview from like 4 o'clock to like 6 o'clock, he came back when the mom came to get the kids. He was not in an interview. His interview was at 1 p.m. and it was over by 1:30. Down the street or across the street from the McDonald's. He was there for maybe like all of like 20 minutes or something like that. What were you doing in between the rest of the time?
Yeah, and then supposedly the surveillance camera did see him with the backpack. So I mean, this is a mess. If this is the case, I hope that GoFundMe can hold these dollars. They normally do their own investigation. And, I mean, I've heard plenty of times where they
should just send it back to the people.
The man trying to find a job so he don't have to carry no backpack.
No. What they're saying was that he wasn't
the baby
even
mom
at a job interview.
Oh, he was.
He was on
not at that time.
He probably was across the street watching the McDonald's.
But he was there earlier.
He kept walking back and forth. They said he kept walking back and forth. Like I don't know if he was checking on the kids.
He had a job interview earlier. So the man was still trying to find a job. At some point, he trying to get out of hospital and sell drugs.
I'm so you standing for this brother, and I hear you.
Can we please somebody?
I hear you, but there's a.
Can we please somebody? No, that man is wrong.
He's out here doing it for
that man is wrong. I'm so sorry. I don't know what he was doing, but it don't sound like he was doing nothing good with a backpack and his kids.
Okay, but like say he was selling.
Why you gotta be wrong?
That's why he's trying to get a job.
Yes, this is what I just said.
The story is if he's not corroborating his own story here, baby.
You're right.
It's just not.
We can't help him.
Yeah, but we have to take a quick commercial break. Coming up right after this, we have Girlfriend's Guide and Mind, Body, and Soul. Stay tuned. You're watching POV.
What's up, social media family? Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Thursday, and I got a question. So, what is something that y'all cannot stand to see someone do in public?
Who want to go first?
Me, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it because I literally cannot. First of all, I got a few. I'm going to run it down.
No, save some for us.
I'm going to say something. Let me say two. So, one, I cannot stand to see somebody digging in their butt.
Okay, what
in public? I cannot stand that because that is so disgusting. Like, what are you digging for?
Okay,
the next one is I cannot stand seeing people barefoot in public. I cannot stand that.
She mentioned somebody digging in their butt. That triggered me.
Okay.
Because I remember having a teacher in junior high school that he scratched his stuff in the front.
No, ma'am.
Like all the time.
He had something going on. Something was biting him.
For years, this man would be scratching. And, you know, in today's time, you couldn't even, I don't even know he would be able to be a teacher at this point. Yeah, but.
That's nasty. Tally, come on, what you got?
Oh, my pet peeve. Seeing people do in public is spitting in the street or on the sidewalk. That's exactly what I said. Like, have the decency that if you're gonna do it, spit in the bushes, spit in the dirt. Like, you know, I mean, just a big walking by and they go,
don't make me gag.
Oh my God, I'd be about to die right there.
That was the one for me.
That was yours? Okay.
Number one. Like,
well, listen, y'all at home, if y'all have a pet peeve that y'all cannot stand seeing somebody do in public, drop it down in our comments. We would love to hear from you. But for now, let's get back to the show.
Where we dive into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. All right, ladies, and everyone else here, this conversation was not a fan favorite of mine, but maybe y'all want to talk about it, okay? Here's a question that definitely has you thinking. Can orgasms actually make you a better parent? If you're not a parent, does a little me time still make a difference in how you show up in your daily life? Some experts like to think that there's a connection between pleasure, stress relief, and being your best self. What do y'all think?
Agreed.
Shirley's
what
like,
they say,
yes,
what they say, another day keeps the squirrels away.
Lord.
Girl.
well, I imagine.
I think the squirrels are coming for the nut.
Oh my God.
Oh, I see what you did there. Okay.
I imagine that it would help relieve stress
And tension.
and tensions because
It
it
does.
releases what the dopamine.
It's a great
and
start to the day.
Oxytocin,
Oxytocin,
yes,
yeah,
in
yeah.
the into your body, and we are made up of chemicals, and maybe it's a constructive way to release stress.
I don't think the better parents part.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if that. To the experts, I'm not sure if that correlation really makes sense. I do understand that if you have more orgasms, you have less stress. If you have less stress, you're obviously going to show up better as a parent.
Right.
Supposedly.
As a person, but
Yeah.
like orgasms are related to pleasure, but like your ability to maintain your cool as a parent, those are two
don't go
different
together.
things. You can have the best sex life and you show up and your kids just mess that whole thing up. So
Right.
I don't know if that's a good comparison, but
I don't think so.
it
either.
is known, throughout from conception until birth, pregnancy, childbirth, and parenting, orgasms do make you feel less tense.
Oh.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Scientific.
Thinking about the parenting and the orgasm aspect. I don't know why my mind goes to all those videos that you
On
probably shouldn't
Instagram?
have watched as a younger person or as a teenager, where the mothers be with 5-6 men in and out, and the kids just sitting there hungry. So I'm just trying to
Where'd
figure
you
out.
watch that?
Videos are there.
I don't know what kind of movies y'all. I don't know what kind of movies y'all was watching, but
No, we don't know what kind of movies you want.
this is what was happening in the 90s. I mean, in the early 2000s.
No,
Wow.
No.
Okay, well, I don't know, but this is what I recollect, okay? So at the end of the day, I think that thinking back to my past, just being honest and transparent, yes, at one point I used to masturbate. But I thank God, honestly, for
Self-pleasure.
salvation. And at this point, maybe I'm not the best to weigh in on the conversation because at this point, it just disgusts me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I
you
don't
have
think that
kids.
this is about
I have kids.
self-pleasure, though.
Yes, it is. That's where this came from with the whole thing and the lady who was, talking
let's
about
say
this
in
article.
general.
That was her.
Oh, she was talking about self-pleasure.
Yeah,
was talking about
And
self-pleasure.
she joined a whole
Oh.
club, and so she does it at clockwork. And when the timer goes off, she's in the room, and she's a better parent now. So she says, yeah.
But with your husband, your partner,
You
do
know
you
that-
believe that when it's done
Doesn't it
well with you,
desensitize? Like,
does it
am
help
I-
you?
am I
Well,
missing
I'm the type of
something?
person.
With your children.
Honestly, no. I'm the type of person that if I am like in grind mode or I'm stressed out,
Yeah.
I don't want to have no sex. I want
Yeah.
money.
Do it.
Yeah.
Like, I want something to change.
Right.
And so, I do know people, and typically it's men, that,
Right.
are stressed and then they want to do it.
Yeah.
But like me, if I'm stressed, baby, give me the money.
Okay. Period.
That's the
Money-
orgasm
that will
doing
solve
me.
it.
That's the band will
that would
make
get your dopamine. going.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm with you when you're right, girl.
Oh Lord, yeah. I know parents often feel guilty though about taking time for themselves. I would for sure feel guilty about taking time for myself. If I'm in the room, the baby crying, baby, and I'm like, I mean, wow.
the baby's crying and you're like, I'm gonna go rub it out. And I'll be right back.
But that's kind of like with this article.
And I'll
it's
come
like
back in a
she-
calmer.
And then resurrect.
I'll be calmer once I
I'm a
come
good
back.
mom. I'm a good mom. I'm a good mom. Girl.
No.
That's kind of how it was in this article, though. She had set, whoever it was, had set a timer, and that's the time that she would go no matter what. She's like, I'm running the kids, whatever. I'm running in there to handle my business so
she
I
wash
can come
her
out and be
hands
right.
first?
I don't know.
I just need
She didn't say.
I need more information. I think we need a study, like for the women who are watching.
I don't want to study that. That sounds like she's desensitizing her own body.
Let us know if
and I don't need to hear
pleasure
about
helps
that.
you become a better parent, because I'm a little confused about that correlation, but you never know.
Yeah, 100%. Y'all please drop that in the comments on any platform that you watch it on. And if you're watching us on Comcast, baby, as you should be, go ahead and email us and let us know.
Let us know.
But outside of self-pleasure, what are some other self-care remedies that parents can do to help themselves, have a better parent experience on a day-to-day basis?
Tell us, parent.
Read the Bible, go to church, trust the Lord, take a long hot shower, lock the kids out with the older kids, let them cry for a minute. I mean, there's plenty of things you can do.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Exactly. Put them kids in the car, go for a drive, go to Chuck E. Cheese, watch your kids at the park. I mean, the list goes on.
I'm not a parent, but I love gardening. Gardening helps a lot. Well, then I'm a garden parent, a plant parent.
Yeah.
And that helps me.
Well, you need to hurry up and have a baby because these kids need to learn how to garden, baby. You the last of a dying breed. I have the green thumb, honey.
Yes.
No, I love that for real. My grandparents, my grandmother's still alive, thank God. But my grandparents, they used to help us, have us help them in the garden my whole childhood.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy with so much of the skills that we have. If you don't use it, you'll truly lose it. So, I mean, I would love to collab one day, do something and kind of just give me that green thumb back, girl.
Yeah.
These kids
Get
learn how
back
to
in the
plant some
garden.
peppers and some
I can
cucumbers.
talk for hours about
Especially when
gardening.
food is so expensive, baby. We need a little something in the backyard.
Yes.
But we've reached the final segment of the day. Now we're switching things up and diving into mindset, balance, and overall well-being. So let's get into mind, body, and soul. So a Chinese company just introduced unhappy leave. I love that, right? Basically, if you're feeling down or mentally drained, you're encouraged to take a day off instead of pushing through. How do we feel about this? Could this be a solution to maintaining a work-life balance, or are companies pushing it a little bit too far? For sure not, but where y'all at?
You got people in
love
America,
this.
the companies in America talking about we need to work 12 hours. We need to work like we work in 12 days in 4 hours. So hearing them say, if you're feeling a bit unhappy, go ahead and take the day off. It's interesting that this came up today because I had a friend who literally called off work to go canoeing.
I know that's right.
They're like, I'm not feeling it today. Called off work and went canoeing. And I was like, that is so grounding.
Yeah.
Going to get yourself in the water. They said there were manatees. They saw manatees underneath the canoe because it was a clear water one. I was like, that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
Just
but this
take
is America. We hope they have a job tomorrow.
Okay.
They need to have a job tomorrow. They got sick leave. I hope.
I had a man on my show, Planet Rock Podcast. Yes, you can catch it on the vision-radio.com
I know that's right.
or on
No,
YouTube.
that's right. I
Planet
know
Rock
that's
Podcast. And he came on the show, and this is what he does for a living. He goes to different companies, and he helps them to learn how to give their employees that time to rebalance. Because it's found that when you give your employees time to rebalance time for themselves, they come back better, they come back more focused, and you can get more done in the company, and it obviously helps make the company more money. And so that's what he goes around and help these companies to really focus on with their employees.
I love that. I love that.
Psychology.
And it's interesting that it would be China, because everybody talks so bad about
rigid
China and
they
how
are.
they feel about people, but to give them the leave, I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, but
Isn't
and
that
the
time?
one thing is that, people that aren't Chinese are always talking about, their take on how China feels, but the people in China are probably happy to work at these
They
places.
are light years ahead of us.
Exactly.
Right,
So at
right.
the end of the day, I don't foresee that happening here. More widely, just because America is not truly about health or mental health, for that matter. Look at all the toxic things that we do.
Mr.
eat,
V,
say,
you listening?
breathe.
Yeah.
No. We had a good place. We all right. We all right over
We are
here.
very happy. We will be happier. But unhappy leave.
And
Happy
some
leave.
companies have it where the employees can take naps. Give them a moment to take naps so they
Now
can
they got a nap
regroup.
room?
Yes,
What?
they do that.
Okay.
Give
They
employees,
did it when people were in kindergarten. It
Yeah.
makes sense. to
give
do that
employees
now.
some space, some time to make your company better. It
Look
only
at
helps
that.
your company.
Look
Right,
at
but
that.
I think that China, implementing this shows that maybe they don't have as many disgruntled workers, because if they tried that over here in America, who want to work?
But when have you ever seen an angry Chinese person?
What are you be watching? What you asking me?
Maybe it's racism.
I
Maybe it's
be
racism.
seeing I don't be.
I be seeing
I'm
it.
done.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
racist. I don't be seeing.
I
angry
seen them
Chinese
angry
people.
when them ladies be coming in that nail salon with them bunions on their feet, baby. They be real. How much y'all going to see when they ain't?
Now,
Oh my goodness. It's time to go. It is time to go. Please get me away from Cali. Because why would you ever do that?
Oh, God forgive me.
Please.
I would have to use my Mandarin. Xie China. Thank you. Xie.
come on now. Multilingual, bilingual queen.
Hey, listen, how do we think that this would affect people if this was done in America? Do we think that it's more common that people have poor work ethics?
No.
Do we think this will create poor work ethics?
No, how do we think that would go with the fact that there are certain people with poor work ethics over here?
Well, I'm sure there's
I don't know. They're
people
trying to
with
get
poor work ethics
14-year-olds to
everywhere.
work
That's what I'm
14 hours a
saying.
day.
Right.
Yeah, they ain't sure gonna get them no unhappy leave because after the
No.
first day they gonna want to quit.
Well, they don't even
Yeah.
want to give them lunch breaks.
Right.
So
Oh yeah. Child.
wow. So yeah. No, I think it will work well for people here. I really do. People work hard here in America.
People might
and
take
I think
advantage
people
of
have
it,
good
though.
work ethics here.
But there are very few people that even like their job already. So if you say I can get off of work because I'm unhappy, baby, I'm never coming.
Oh, Lord.
But I mean, not me, but I mean other people. But that's a wrap for today's show. Before we leave, we want to leave you with a quote of the day. Just don't give up what you're trying to do. Where there is inspiration, there is love, and I don't think that you can go wrong. And that's a quote by Ella Fitzgerald. On that note, stay tuned, stay inspired. We'll see you guys tomorrow only on AfroTV.